Hey guys, this is Coach KP, and today it's a very cold day out there, so I'm making this video inside my home, and today I'm going to talk about holding space and how to effectively do that. Okay, so when somebody, either it's a friend, a client of ours, or people that we care for, are coming up with negative emotions, or if they're going through a hard time, whatever's happening in their lives that's not working out for them, even through our best of intentions, we may tend to give advice, or worse, try to fix things, right? And sometimes when we are doing these things, it's actually not helping anyone. It's not helping them, because the fact is that we will never be able to understand what someone's going through 100%. So even if we have the best intentions, trying to fix something that we don't even understand, and this goes to the best of the life coaches out there. No one can understand what this other person is going through 100%. Okay, we can try to relate, and we all do, but it's just not possible to understand what somebody's going through. So jumping to fix the problem, and what I mean by that is, let's say somebody is expressing anger towards somebody, or they're just frustrated with life, or X, Y, and Z situation. They're maybe going through grief. It's easy to say, hey, think of the flip side, be positive, this and that, and do this technique, Ho'oponopono, or all of the 100 things that are out there. We may be very quick to jump into that, right? Because one of the reasons is, when somebody's sharing something to us or with us, and it's really something deep, and they're being vulnerable, obviously there's it triggers some feelings that we have within us. And when that happens, we try to unconsciously mitigate our feelings, and we kind of get hung up about how we are feeling in this situation versus how they are feeling in that situation, right? Or how we can effectively help them, and it kind of clouds our judgment. So unconsciously, with the best intentions, we may go into the fixer mode versus just being able to hold space for them. And when we are holding space for them effectively, what we are really doing is getting our ego out of the way, saying to our ego that, hey, this person is going through X, Y, and Z. Let's shift our ego to the side, and really let's connect with this person and try to understand what they are going through, and make space for them to be vulnerable, right? That's what we are doing. And when we go to the fixer mode, what I said earlier, we are not doing that. What we are doing is, we are unconsciously minimizing what they are saying, or worse, giving them really bad advice, because we are not present, we are not there, we are fixing. And this is especially true for empaths, right? We are so agitated easily when somebody's sharing. It makes us uncomfortable. If that is happening, and if we are not in the state to be holding space for someone in an effective way, hey, the honest answer at that point, in my opinion, is to say to them that, hey, I really hear you, but it's making me uncomfortable. It's making me uncomfortable to hear that. It's triggering lots of these feelings within me. I don't think I'm being able to be present here at this time the way I want to show up as you're sharing this, right? It's not the easiest thing to do, especially if we haven't practiced. And I am really learning how to hold space for other people. So I'm not speaking from a perspective of knowing it all and being able to do that 100%. But what I'm saying is, when we can push our ego to the side, push the fixer to the side, push our identity to the side as we are connecting with this person or these people, the quality of what they feel after they have connected with us is phenomenal. Like you will understand that you have leveled up. I understand that I have leveled up every time I'm able to do that, because now two things will happen. The transformation as they are sharing, when you're connected with them, fully present in that conversation, you know, that sharing has a transformational ability in us, not in them. They are benefiting from sharing and us holding space for them. And when we are connecting with them, we are getting healing, because we are able to tap into these emotions, of these difficult emotions, and still be present and validate them. Okay, when someone's sharing something with us, it's not always that they're looking for answers. You know, personally, when I feel negatively about something, you know, it could be anything within the negativity spectrum, and I'm sharing it with someone, all I am trying to do is process that so that I can get out of it. You know, one of the things we misconstrue is, you know, especially in the spiritual community, whatever that means, right? There's this thing that you should always be happy, you should always be this, you should always be that, you should not feel negatively, you should not have negative thoughts, right? And that really hurts people, because now people are feeling invalidated because you have made it unsafe for them without even realizing it. So when a negative thought comes into our mind, and negative thought comes to everyone's mind, okay, we are wired for negativity as a part of evolution. There is no day or a week that anybody lives through without experiencing negative thoughts. So let me say this one more time. Experiencing negative thoughts is not a bad thing, okay? Negative thoughts are bound to come. As we meditate, so many things are coming to our mind when we sit down to meditate, right? It happens to the best of us. What do we do during meditation is we let the thought pass by, right? We let the thought pass by without interrupting it, without pushing it away. We let the thought pass by. So when a negative thought comes, we process it and we move on. Process it and we move on. And the processing can be different for different people, different for different circumstances. And we may need help processing these negative thoughts, negative feelings, right? That's what this person's trying to do when they are sharing with you. So when you allow them a safe space to be who they are and share what they are, and it helps them move on. If this person's not moving on, okay, so they've come back to you over and over and over again, and they share the same thing, now that's a data point. Every negative thought or feeling that we have is a data point, and every negative thought and feeling that this person is having is a data point. Now, if they are getting hung up in that negative thought process, what it could mean is that they have identified with this negativity, right? And that's a different thing. Now, they are not able to move on past that negative state of mind. It's no longer just a thought, no longer just a fleeting thought. If they've identified with the negativity, now they're believing in that negative thought. For example, let's say you have a negative thought about going into this presentation and not feeling competent, okay, and you've been preparing for this for the last 10 days. Okay, everybody has that thought, right? That it doesn't necessarily mean anything. You just process it, let it pass. Process it, let it pass. But if that thought becomes so obsessive that it's clouding your judgment, and now you're paralyzed and you don't even want to go to that state of being able to give the presentation, now that's a problem, okay? So negative thoughts aren't a problem. So when somebody is going through a negative thought process and they're processing with you, all we can do to effectively allow them to pass through that is be present for them and hold space for them. Push our ego aside so they can be safe with us. Now, if they do this over and over and over again and they're just not seeing the pattern, then we can intervene in a healthy way by asking, hey, I know we've talked about this over and over again a few times. Looks like are you getting hung up on X, Y, and Z? Do you want advice from me, right? And we can always ask if they are needing advice, because sometimes people do need advice and they're not comfortable asking. So asking the question is good, right? Giving unsolicited advice and really jumping to conclusion and thinking that, okay, this person hasn't done their work, this person hasn't done enough processing, is not healthy for anyone, because ultimately they are trusting of you to be vulnerable enough. So, you know, if you want that relationship to work, if this person, this relationship, this whatever situation is important for you, then you would choose to hold space for them and really be present for them until they're able to process this and move past it, right? So this is my message today, is holding space is such a sacred thing you can do for this other person that you will never be able to get to that state by being a fixer or trying to jump to conclusion, making them feel invalidated in the process. And the worst thing you can do is for you to even, you know, judge that situation quickly, right? Again, you know, if this continues to happen multiple times and, you know, this person's just not moving forward, then it's a conversation. Then you can talk about, hey, you know, I know we've talked about this a few times. It's kind of being very difficult for me. It's starting to get very difficult for me to be present here because I've heard it so many times. What's going on, right? That's my message today, and I hope you enjoy this video. Peace.